Okay guys, I built it back now for the second time. It's been crashed and built and crashed and built again. We're gonna fly this thing. Bunch of hot glue, some toothpicks, good as new. Well guys, I just can't, I couldn't take it. I've got to resurrect it. I've got to fly it, or I won't be able to sleep. So I'm gonna fix it again. We've got 6 shish kebabs. Well guys, I just can't stand it. I'm gonna try to fix it and fly it again. I've got 6 shish kebabs in here and I'm about to get the glue gun out. So we will do the maiden 2. And hopefully it doesn't get totaled for a 3rd time. Alright guys, I couldn't let this defeat me. The E-Flite T28 crashing 2 times now, totaled out once, a pretty good hard hit the first time. I'm not going to let it defeat me. I'm going to figure out what's wrong with this thing and fly it. Look, I've got it back together. Took 6 shish kebabs, sticks or long toothpicks, 6 little hot glue, and fuselage back in one piece. Let me show you a little bit about what I got going on here. I got my test motor. I got the speed control. I've been trying to torture this thing to see if it would act up. I've updated the receiver. I've been going through the servos. Let me zoom you on in here, and then we're going to try this again in a couple days. Okay, so the front half of the fuselage busted off right here. It was in 2 complete halves. I've got it stuck back together. I'll show you my shish kebabs. And I've gotten the steering working again. Someone before me did a little patch job in there. Got everything out. I happen to have a replacement, that turnbuckle piece right there for an apprentice, which is the same piece. So I got that in. Got the rod, had to put a new clevis on the end of it. The back of the plane didn't get any damage. The wing is actually kind of okay. The canopy was never really hurt. I've been trying to torture the speed control. I got the receiver out and I programmed it to the AS3X Plus, and the bind button does work. If you push on it on one side, it does work. The other side, it doesn't. And I'm almost thinking that was part of the problem, like the button was stuck down. I don't know. I'm going to try to figure it out. So here's what I'm going to do. There was a pretty good bite taken out of the wing right here. And I just put a little hot glue and just stuck that back. Just it'll be okay for our 3rd maiden flight like that. I just lost the screw. So here's my plan. So the wing is not going to stay on like it's supposed to, with the 2 pins and the screw going down. That's not going to work anymore. So I'm just going to hot glue the wing to the plane out at the field. But here's my plan for trying to fly it again. I've got 2 speed controls. The one that came with it, and then I have another one. The one that came with it is in my left hand right here, when I have spares on the right. And I have 2 631 receivers. Got the one that I just updated, plus I have another one that's not updated. I'm going to put my good speed control and my AR631 that I know is good, put that in it first and fly it. And then I'm going to take the speed control out, swap the speed controls, and try to fly it. If we pass that test, then I'm going to put in the original receiver that came out of it and try to fly it that way. At that point, it should crash. And if it doesn't, the update fixed it. The only other thing I can think of is that the speed control has been through so much trauma that there's something loose inside, or I don't know. There was one other piece on the motor that I noticed that had a problem, and let me show you that. That's pretty important. So the motor, I was holding it in my hand just like this, and I was able to pull on the can like that. Let's just get it. See that? And then, but it was like a 1/4 inch. So I took the motor off of the motor mount. I loosened up the set screw, which is right in there somewhere. And then I was able to kind of press the motor down the shaft. And you can see the mark where it was at. You see the mark there? It's like a 1/4 inch or between 1/8 and 1/4 inch. That's how far I got the can to slide down the shaft. And you could physically see the play right there where that clip is. So I was almost thinking that when you're flying a plane and you know the prop is spinning and the motor is, I mean the entire airplane is behind the propeller. So maybe the motor was pulled out, and when it was pulled out, that was doing something with the electricity. And that's why sometimes it you know, kind of flew a little bit for that guy and then acted up and then didn't act up. Maybe the motor pulling out, and you could physically see, you know, the stator and the rotor in there. You could see a lot. Like there were some major, you know, problems with the motor. I can't really describe what it was, but I mean it shouldn't do that. So maybe it was shorting out somehow and doing something to the speed control, and I don't know. But there was a reason it had all those fades. Just a reason it had all those fades the first time, and there's some reason that it went down on me. I couldn't look at my transmitter after it crashed because the front half of the airplane separated from the back half, and the receiver got unplugged. So even though when it crashed, the battery was still plugged into the speed control, it wasn't sending any, you know, wasn't powering the receiver. So I couldn't look at any of the telemetry data anyways. So, total side note, has anybody noticed the light that is in the speed controls on these 30 amp smart? Let me plug it up. There's a light in here and I don't know what it does. We'll plug up the speed control and bind it to the NX6 real quick, and I'll show you this light. Why is there a light in the 30 amp smart speed controls? And look, this is the steering stuff I had for this plane. I bought this, I don't know, when I got my Apprentice a long time ago on eBay, but it says Daniels RC. I bought it for the Apprentice, but it clearly says T28 on it, and I just happen to have it. I'll be darned. So the transmitter goes on first. Alrighty, transmitter on first. I think we're still on the same plane. So let me, do you guys see the light on the speed control? Look at that. I've never noticed that. Why is that? I've tried hitting some switches or something to see if it changes. Like, you know, what's the different mode? Throttle cut? No. When I give it throttle, it's still there. Is that light supposed to be there? I've never ever noticed that. 30 amp smart speed control has a little light, and you can tell that they want you to see the light because of how the heat shrink, you know, this black wrapper or whatever, how it is purposely cut out to be able to see that light. Zoomed in there, but this cut is on purpose. It has a light. All right, so last thing, I'll let you guys go. So here on my NX6, we're still bound up to the receiver that was crashed, And now we have the AS3X Plus to investigate and learn all about. But I went to my telemetry and I changed the flight log signal strength to something that I can understand, which is the percentage instead of the .bm or whatever it is. So then we go to the main screen here, and it says my range is 100% good, right? So now let's go to the range test. Nope. So we see our signals here. I'm taking it on the right where it says 100% receiver, and then this must be the signal that the transmitter is spitting out. So on the left, the transmitter is putting out the negative 31 dBm, and my receiver is receiving it 100%, and that gives me a total of 100%, goodness. So I'm taking it as transmitter, receiver equals I have 100%. When I press the bind button to reduce the power, then my signal strength is 98%, and the transmitter is putting out less, the minus 51 or whatever. So let's go 20 feet away. So we're just at the door in my airplane room here, less than 20 feet, probably 12. We're still 100%. I'm going to press the bind button to reduce the power. Look how much that changes when we're 10 feet away. How can we change the output signal where something we can understand? And why can't we change that to the percentages? All right, guys. Well, we'll figure that out one day, just like we're figuring out everything else. I got an airplane to put back together. Like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Make sure you're still subscribed. And until next time, you'll see me here. Adios, guys. Happy flying.